Hello and welcome again. Thank you for clicking on this video. My name is United Arab Emirates and I bring you in this channel tips, wisdom keys, business opportunities, job opportunities, ideas, information, and everything that you need in order to prosper and to thrive in the United Arab Emirates. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how you can get a bank account in the UAE without being a resident. That's a question a few people have asked, and in this particular video I want to answer it. How can you actually have a bank account in the United Arab Emirates without being a resident of the United Arab Emirates? In fact, the first question is this even possible? And the answer is yes, but there are some caveats which I'm going to be explaining in this video. So stay tuned up until the end and you're going to learn what those caveats are. Now, a couple of people in different countries normally would like to have foreign accounts in other countries where they probably do business in order to facilitate business transactions, but they don't necessarily intend to live in those foreign countries. They may want to visit, do their transactions and go back, but they may not necessarily want to live in those countries. And for people that have that kind of intention and probably do business in the United Arab Emirates but live in another country altogether, the question has been asked, is it possible for me to open a bank account in the United Arab Emirates without being a resident? The answer to that question, like I said earlier, is yes, you can. However, there's a caveat. If you're not a resident in the United Arab Emirates, you're only actually allowed to open a savings account. You cannot open a current account in the United Arab Emirates unless you are a resident. So you're only allowed to open a savings account. And that savings account most of the time will not come with a checkbook, but you will be given an ATM card for you to use to do withdrawals. And of course, you will normally, as usual, have your online platform where you can now do your transactions both locally and internationally without stress. It's just that you may not get a checkbook, but you have an ATM card. So to a large extent, you will actually be able to operate and do certain things that you desire to do. I have also come across a question that asked if a savings account can function as a salary account. So peradventure, somebody opens a savings account and wants to be receiving salaries in the savings account until the person gets their residency to now be able to apply for a regular current account. Maybe the person came to do some part-time job and has not yet fully gotten their residency. The question has been asked, can I use my savings account as a salary account and be receiving payments through my savings account? And the answer is yes, you can. Your savings account can also double as a salary account. So you can receive money in your savings account. You can also transfer money locally and internationally through your savings account, so you don't have a problem. The only difference is that you will not have a check leaf, and then certain things like probably if you want to have accommodation and you're required to put in your check for your accommodation rentals, because you don't have a check leaf, you may not be able to quite do that. So that being said, as a non-resident in the United Arab Emirates, what then are the requirements that you would need in order to open a savings account in the UAE as a non-resident? And those requirements are as follows. Number one, you will need your passport with the UAE entry stamp. Original of the passport will be cited, and then of course a copy of that passport will be made. You will also need passport photos. Typically they ask for 2 or 3 passport photographs depending on the bank. Then you would have your completed application form. Your application form applying to have a savings account in that bank. You would have it completed and ready. Then you should also have proof that your residency visa or Emirate ID card is being processed. So let's say peradventure you've opened your account as somebody who came in as a tourist, then most banks will expect that this savings account you're opening is a prelude to now have a normal current account. So they will want some evidence to show that you are processing your residency visa or your Emirates ID card. Then a document stating your employer's name and salary details will also be required. Some banks require it. Most banks actually require it, but there are a few banks that may not be so strict on that. Then a letter of recommendation from previous bank, if any. Then a letter of no objection from either your sponsor or your employer. Now, some other banks may have one or two extra requirements, but in a nutshell, these are the general things that you would require in order to open a bank account. Then also note, check specifically for each of the banks. Sometimes each bank may have different specifications for the minimum balance or maximum balance expected in the savings account. So if the bank you're going for has those kind of limits, minimum or maximum, it's very important that you take note of them so that it doesn't affect you when you're now doing business with that bank account. So that's it in a nutshell on how you can open a bank account in the UAE without being a resident. If you enjoyed this video, please click on the like button. At least if this video made some sense to you or added some value, please click on the like button. And if you haven't subscribed and you like this kind of content telling you how you can prosper and thrive in the UAE, which is what this channel basically does, you can also subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you get videos as they come. I did a video earlier, you can check it up here, on how, or rather on the top banks in the UAE. So you can go through these banks, check out the different saving account schemes that they have. Some of their saving account schemes have become more robust and more interesting and more favorable to people, not as strict in terms of requirements. So you can always check these banks online, check the different saving account packages that they have, and decide which one you're going to leverage. So thank you so much for listening up until now. See you again in the next video, and I super celebrate you.